Yeah, I agree that the starting points and the few like first steps could be easy, but I think that really growing, if we're talking about growth, I think it's harder today to get the growth because there is so much like competition on all the media, on all the uh, wherever you're going. It could be like in email, everybody's getting these emails. It could be like in social media, it could be like funnels, whatever. It's so hard to get these people involved. And if you're not really good in marketing, you don't have any chance, as I see it. Like even a small
Yeah.
or a big company, you need to really know that. And when we're talking about the gap between small companies and these like large giants, so they're saying like we're a known brand, we don't need to do that much efforts in marketing. We have what we have, everybody knows us, and we have our clients, and that's it. But when it comes to a new thing, they're like falling behind, and their CMO is like, I know, like in letters, whatever. I know where they are, but they're
Yeah.
not in the pace of these really fast moving companies who are just mastering it.
Totally agreed. I did a presentation that I wouldn't say it got me in trouble, but I definitely had I had some people that were not happy with me afterwards, and it was, I guess it was 2019. Like it's so crazy how the time flies with like COVID. Uh,
Right.
but but yeah, I had done this presentation on why major brands are ditching the CMO job title. I had found this like really great article off of Adage, and it was basically about it was like 2018, 2019, where all of these large organizations were dropping the chief marketing officer because what ended up happening was you have all these people that are like, I'm a branding person, strategy, storytelling. And it's like, cool, that's cute. And I love it, but I want to show data. So show me what type of storytelling works the best on what channel and show me what your conversion rate is and how I can tie a number figure to that so we can duplicate it across channels. And by and large, most of them are like, I don't do that. I'm a fancy marketer. And it's like, no, hold on, what does that mean? And you start to drill down into it and you realize that these are people that actually got into a real technical environment way late in the game. And in order to keep up with a wave that's moving at breakneck speed, you either stick to one very specific thing or you just kind of give up and say, you know what, I have a holistic approach. You use buzzwords, doesn't mean anything. And ultimately, people get frustrated with you and say, hey, look, I can do that job too. And that was kind of like the big picture of like the whole idea of marketing has kind of had this schism. There's the old branding and strategy marketing, and now there's this really technical, data driven type marketer that is changing the way that we think of marketing. And marketing has kind of overtaken all aspects of sales and all kinds of areas that nobody ever thought it would be a part of product. So the way that marketing works in 2021 and beyond is nothing like in the past. We're talking zero touch conversions, where if I'm so good at what I do and I've targeted you so well and I've done the outreach or whatever the mechanism was to get in front of you and you love it, then I don't need a salesperson. I don't need product people. I can sell. I can sell whatever the product or solution is till the cows come home. I've been working on crypto projects super recently, and that's blowing my mind because you don't actually have to deliver anything. It's just all based off of speculation and the idea of how amazing something is, which is a bit of storytelling. But if you reach the right amount of people using a bit of growth hacking, then you could easily push whatever coin it is that you're trying to hawk way above all the others because it is pure speculation. And I think you're seeing these marketplaces pop up, whether it's NFTs, whether it's influencer marketing, where it doesn't even matter what they're selling. It's because you can get eyes on a product that people go for it. And it's just a
Yeah.
crazy time to be alive and realizing that if you pair the storytelling with the technical side, then you have something. But you really can't just be a storyteller these days.
Yeah. So what you're saying, they're just too high level and they're not into the operations, which is like the numbers, which is the results actually. And some, sometimes people say like strategy is so much more important than like the real down to earth operation when the rubber hits the road. And this is where it happens, right? with the numbers, with these very small details of how to take people and how to cut the market and how to reach the right audience. And if you don't have that capability, which is sometimes very complex, in the past you had, like, I know, two ways more or less. You have like email and maybe something that you've done through the website. That's it. And now you have so many ways of reaching people, and so many ways to get these eyeballs and get interest. Once
Yes.
you understand that, it's like it could be so much work just to handle these, like, all these, like, campaigns and numbers and everything.
Can I
And it's
share my
hard.
screen? I'm like
Sure.
super jazzed up on this, and I wanted to show just a couple of quick things. So like,
Sure.
you can see this hopefully, right?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, this was basically all the companies in 2019 that had publicly fired their chief marketing officer.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean that was like it's old school
Yeah.
companies, it's every
I'm gonna
industry.
just mention some of them because we have like people on podcast. It's Uber,
Ah,
Lyft, Unilever, Walmart, Kraft, Hyatt, McDonald's, Taco Bell. It's
yeah.
lots of company, big
I mean,
companies.
it's tons and it's crazy. And I think one of the big shifts that you're seeing in this was that same year, 2019, digital media spend had finally overtaken traditional media spend. That wasn't that long ago. Like that was like 3 years ago. People were like,
Wow.
no, 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 we got to do more billboards and we got to put commercials on TV. Nobody has watched a television advertisement outside of the Super Bowl in probably the last 10 years. But here we are, like, it's people that are in charge, like, this worked in the 80s and I was on top. I invented the piano key necktie. I invented it. And the reality is, it's like, dude, stop trying to do stuff that didn't work like last year, 10 years ago. This is a completely different animal. And this is why the people that are in charge within these larger organizations are being shown the door because they're trying to use the same methodologies of what worked 20 years ago, 15 years ago, in an ecosystem where it is so not there. It's
Right.
just crazy. So I get
It
super
is.
jazzed up about this because I meet people like this on rare occasions, and it's like the Wizard of Oz, where like you get to meet the wizard, and it's just some old man pulling levers and stuff, and it's like, oh, I thought you were like magic or something, and it's just wildly
Yeah.
disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it is. When I think about it, it's like it seems like the old generation of how they understood the way people operate and the way that advertising is operating and branding. It's so much different than what we're doing usually. Like right now, the you could be a brand and you don't have to be Disney, right? So you don't need to
True.
invest like 30 years in your name just because you're a brand for your specific audience and for your specific market. And you don't have to reach everyone, and you don't have to do things which are so expensive in a way. If you have these ads and billboards and TV commercials which are so expensive, you could do something which is like just having a YouTuber that is connected to your audience, doing something in, like, I know, hundredth of the price, thousands of the price, I know.
Yes.